I'm similar to the thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of rough riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Beneath my me, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow. Fuck taekwondo, I told a fofo. For niggas getting mad cause they bitch chose me. A big black motherfucker with G. You see, all I do is separate the game from the truth. Big bang boots from the Bronx to Bolivia. Getting physical like Olivia Newt. Tricks up my click dick all day with no trivia. So give me a bankroll and a bag of weed. I'm guaranteed to fuck her till her nose bleed. Even if the new man's a certified Mac, you get that H down in ya. You want that old thing back? B-I-double-T-I-E with some new R-U-L-E. Notorious, known for busting in your E-Y-E. Baby, baby, bitches know they love to hate me. How come you come, we come with backs and maybe how close we came to coming together is crazy. How come you and your sis make similar faces? When y'all come and y'all be crying like I'm killing y'all bitches. I know there's a bigger picture than the camera roll. Cause I don't think y'all be knowing how this shit's unfolding. Back shots to the rear, got the Mac unloading. Gotta reload like every so often. Saying I got my swagger back. I'm looking like bitch, my swagger never left. Don't be so hard pressed to be impressed by these new rappers. They actors and the fact is, you want that old thing back. Scarface and Bushwick, Willie D, having nightmares of girls killing me. She mad because what we had didn't last. I'm glad because her cousin let me hit the ass. Fuck the past, let's dwell on the 500 SL, the E and J and ginger ale. The way my pockets swell to the rim with Benjamins. Another hunt's in the crib, please send it in. I fuck non-stop, lick my lips a lot. Used to lick the clips a lot. We're making clips, have to stop. Cause y'all don't know how to act when the tongue go down below. Peep the funk flow, really though. I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen this, stroke of genius. So take off your Tim boots and your bodysuit. I mean the spandex, and hit my man next. Sex get rougher when they come to the nut buster. Pussy crusher, black nasty motherfucker. I don't chase them, I replace them. And if I'm caressing them, I'm undressing them. Fuck what you heard, who's the best in New York? Fulfilling fantasies without that nigga Mr. Raw. Or tattoo, I got you wrapped around my dick. And when I'm done, I got the split shit.
Yo, 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 happy Monday. Big week, man. Or really big end of the week into this week. Lot of panic, lot of fear, lot of craziness. Gonna go over everything today. Today will probably be a decently long stream. I've also got something pretty cool I want to show you guys that I've been working on for the last 5 to 6 months. But wow. Everybody take a deep breath. Was it ugly? Yes. Was it needed? Yeah. I've been saying it for months. Now, look, I didn't think we'd drop that much. And what I mean, like drop, I mean altcoins. I didn't think altcoins would go down minus 60% like that. That was absurd. Okay, like my fetch literally round tripped. I'm not kidding. I bought it 55 cents. It went all the way down to 58 cents. So just like you, I was a little nervous as well. But I'm going to go over a lot of things that'll give you guys some comfort if you're holding bags still. I know there's an argument to everything. I know the tariffs. We're going to go over the tariffs. I think the tariffs are not going to happen. And I'll give you reasons why. I'm so happy I took profits around Christmas. That's great, man. I'm glad that worked out for you. I am still not interested in profit taking. I think this market has legs now. And I'm going to answer this question because I know there's a ton of people here right off the rip, and you're going to ask, when is Altseason? I posted a small video from the private analysis this morning on Altseason. And guys, and I guess we'll start off with this. We're going to bounce around a lot today. I know for all of you that watch normally, normally we start with the S&P and then go down. Let's start with Altseason today. So, Altseason, has it happened? I posted a video this morning that basically said no, right? I've gone over in my analysis, I've gone over on streams. We have not had Altseason, right? Have we had periods of alts moving, right? Yes. But have we had an Altseason? Guys, this is what Altseason looks like. This is Bitcoin season, right? Bitcoin season, Altseason, right? Big difference. And really, you could argue this is both season, and then that breakdown is Altseason, where alts are finally doing better. And you can even look at like intra trends, right? Clearly, Bitcoin season, right? Alts do okay. Bitcoin does better. When is this? August of 2020, right before kind of the beginning of that large bull run up to look, to me, the bull run went to 40K and then alt started going off, and that's indicated here on Bitcoin dominance. You think this is a dead cat bounce? So I have a couple of things, and I'm going to talk about tariffs as well while we're talking about this. I think that this market, at least the altcoin space, needed a flush. Did I think it needed a flush like that? No. I didn't think that that was going to happen. Like many of you, I didn't believe that was, I didn't believe we could drop that far without Bitcoin substantially dropping lower. Guys, Bitcoin dropped 10% and alts did minus 50, minus 60, minus 70 in the matter of hours. So, well, what I will say is we have completely flushed the altcoin space, right? There's only been 2 other times we've seen this many liquidations, and one of them was, and I'm going to use this. So this is Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to try and keep them like this just so we can see, and I'll do this. There's only been 2 other times we've seen that many liquidations. One was COVID, the other was FTX. And I know that there's a couple people on Twitter that are like, guys, why are you comparing this to COVID? This is not COVID. It's not even remotely close to COVID. The FTX crash, which was a massive bottoming event with some of the most liquidations we've ever seen, had nothing to do with the stock market. And crypto dropped a shit ton. Alts dropped a shit ton. Right? So yes, COVID was a market-wide event. FTX was more of a crypto event. The tariffs, more of like, I think the altcoin market was really just looking for any excuse to die. And I hate to say that, but it was needed. Everyone was trading. Everyone was trading memes, right? I've said, look, I know I've said a couple times like, hey, I know in March I was like, hey, maybe you could buy some alts. Bitcoin's breaking highs. Generally, alts follow. But for the last couple months, I've said, guys, don't buy alts. We're not seeing alt season. Bitcoin dominance is still on the rise. We have not seen a lower low yet. We're just creating higher lows and continuing higher, ultimately. So we've covered that base. Tariffs. I don't believe the tariffs are going to happen. I think it's a negotiation tactic. I watched a couple YouTube videos today, and one of the guys I watch, he's been right about, I mean, look, it doesn't matter how many times you're right or wrong, but there are examples where Trump will go and do something kind of catastrophic to get something in return. Like Trump, okay, so I'll give you an example. What was it, like a week ago? Trump wanted Colombia to take their, and look, I know this is a hot topic, but we're going to look at it from a data perspective right now. Trump wanted Colombia to take back their illegal immigrants, right? To take them back. He said, look, we'll fly them on a plane, military plane. You have to take them back. That plane shows up in Colombia, and the Colombian president, I believe, said, we're not taking them back. You can keep them. The very next day, Trump goes and says, all right, we're going to impose a 25% tariff on you. That same day, the Colombian president goes, oh shit, okay, we'll take them back. Okay, he's doing this with Mexico because he wants Mexico to put armed guards on the border. And look, I know it's a hot topic. I know this affects a lot of people. Look, my girlfriend's Hispanic, so I'm sitting here with my arms up in the air and I can't really say anything about it. And look, I don't really have an opinion. I love Hispanics. I don't have an opinion on it. The only people I want gone are the criminals, the terrorists, which I know are a very small percentage. So, look, from a data perspective, avoiding politics, avoiding emotions, I think that this is a tactic to get something that he wants them to do that makes somewhat sense in his mind. He wants Mexico to take back their deportees, their illegal immigrants. I don't know exactly what he wants from Canada. I think I haven't looked into it that much, but at least on the Canadian side, I know why Mexico. Mexico's the same as Colombia. He wants them to take them back. Mexico's like, we're not going to do that. Trump's saying, okay, well, enjoy these tariffs, right? You're going to hurt yourself for hurting us. So, again, I think it's all a negotiation tactic. I think we would have dumped anyways, but maybe not as bad. I agree with you. And I hate to be saying, like, I've said it for weeks. I don't want to say I've said the alt market will dump for weeks. Shit, I'm the guy that pulls up total 2. And, like, no joke, I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. Nice little bull flag to continue higher. Like, I won't lie. I've been saying that. I never said we were going to do this. I said there was a possibility we could do this. And I have said, like, hey, guys, you don't want to buy things when they're at all-time highs or in a range at all-time high. It doesn't make any sense. So look, aside from that, back to the tariffs, back to alt season, back to whatever the hell just happened yesterday. A lot of this is a negotiation tactic. And I think the world is waking up and realizing that, seeing what happened in Colombia, seeing what's happening now. Like Mexico's like, okay, let's talk to you. And the Mexican president came on and said, all right, we'll do what you're asking. We're going to send guards. It was a good conversation. And they know now it's a negotiation tactic. Trump's doing it to be like, hey, look, you don't want to help us? We're not going to help you. Right? Or you don't want to help us and take your people back? Then we're going to screw you. Right? So now that we've covered tariffs, now I don't know with China. I think Trump is actually going to impose more tariffs, but I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. I think he wants to create jobs here. I could be wrong. Yeah, Canadian tariffs have been delayed 30 days. Yes, it's a negotiation tactic. If Trump guys, let's think logically. All emotions aside, I know what happened in the market. It was crazy. I know it was scary, but let's think real quick. If Trump really wanted, like, let's say his intention was to put tariffs on, right? Wouldn't he just do it? I know we've had Biden who's been asleep for the last 4 years. And he didn't really do anything, and he let he didn't negotiate. He didn't make his stance. He didn't do anything. So look, if Trump really wanted to do this, he said, look, you have Mexico, right? And you have Canada. I should draw Canada above Mexico. Let's do that. So we have Mexico, Canada, right? Trump saying, what, 25% to Canada, and what was it, 10% to Mexico, I believe? Maybe it's 25%. I'm not 100% sure. I've had a wild day, dude. I've had to answer DMs. I've had to pay attention to the news. Like, just like you guys, I was a little freaked out over the tariff thing. That's a trade war right now is the last thing we need. And it definitely made my heart skip a little bit of a beat. But I'm happy to see that it is. I originally thought it'd be a negotiation tactic. I'm like, there's no way. You guys have to remember, Trump measures his performance based on the stock market. If the stock market crashes during his presidency, then he failed. I'm not kidding you. You can look this up. So we know Trump wants stock market to go up. He can go this 4 years and say, look, on average, stock market went up. Maybe in his last year it goes down, we start recession, whatever. But in the end, he can say, look, while I was president, I succeeded. The stock market did better. I think the stock market's a calculation of the economy. I did better, right? You guys know Trump. He likes to gloat. He likes to, and excuse my language, but he likes to stick his dick in people's face. He likes to show what he's accomplished. You really don't think he doesn't want to? He's probably got so many friends that are invested in the stock market that he knows he has to do things that make the stock market. Anyways, he imposes the 25% tariffs, 10% tariffs. I think it's 25 and 10. If it's 25 to Mexico, my apologies. Anyways, if Trump really wanted to impose tariffs, he would have just done it. He would have said, all right, Canada, you're screwed. This is what we want. We're going to do this now. Like, F you. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you want. This is what we're doing. Same with Mexico. Instead, he imposes these, and what happens? They're delayed 30 days. Why do you think they're delayed 30 days? Because he wants something from this. Because he wants Mexico to take their deportees back, and he probably wants something with energy with Canada, which, look, in the end, he's going to find something that benefits both parties, or at least reduces the amount of tension from both parties. He did this with North Korea. He's done it with Russia. He's done it with Cuba, right? You guys have to remember, I know you see the news and it's scary and you saw what happened yesterday. This is how he works. He's a businessman. He is an excellent negotiator, whether you like it or not. And in my opinion, I don't think these tariffs happen. And I think the bull run absolutely rips from here because there are recorded data points of exchanges. There's an exchange, or not an exchange. There was a fund this morning that bought 86,000 Ethereum. You know, maybe they knew the market was going to drop. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Was it illegal? I don't know. But why the hell would a fund, right, buy 86,000 Ethereum, right? Well, during a market drop, not during a market peak, a market drop. I don't want to say because I guess I will. Because they know it's going to go back up. They know these things. They know we haven't had Altseason. Look at alts right now. Look at Tau. Tau has bounced, I think, almost 100%, 60% from lows. You look at Ethereum. Look how much Ethereum's back at macro support. This was a massive flush that we somewhat needed. Tariffs are good for America and they will happen. People forget how we started. I don't think they're going to happen. At least not to the extreme degree. Maybe we impose tariffs, but they're not going to be huge like this. Because again, if they were, think about it. And look, I'm not a Trump expert. I'm not like a tariff expert either. But I do know he negotiates. Right? I know that this is a negotiation tactic. He's giving them 30 days to think about it, and they're going to say, I bet in 2 to 3 days, Mexico's going to come back and say, you know what? You're right. We'll take them. Because they know if we impose a massive tariff on them, they're fucked. Same with Canada. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Texas's economy is the whole thing of Canada. I could be wrong. Right? What's up, Colin? How you doing? Just for that example, like a third of the U.S. is all of Canada. You have to keep that in perspective. Like most of Canada, and I'm a terrible drawer, right? You have Canada, right? Like 90% of Canada is right here. And like a little bit over here, right? And then you have like the United States, whatever. I think Canada's sweating right now, like, okay, we need to do what this guy says or we're fucked. So, okay, back to our next topic, Altseason, right? I know you guys are interested, just like I am, just like everybody. So what happened? I think the market, the altcoin market, not Bitcoin, altcoin market was looking for any excuse to flush everybody out. Any excuse. The tariffs obviously being a macro global event flushed everybody out. It was very scary, right? No one really knows what's going to happen in the end, right? I hate to say that. I hate to say like hindsight stuff, right? Saying like, oh, it's a negotiation, whatever. Like, I won't lie. Like, was I buying yesterday? No, I'm already exposed. I already bought crypto. I already bought a lot. Like 90% of my altcoins never hit where I bought. I was still in profits. I don't feel like I need to overexpose myself. Plus, I have other things that we're investing in. We have this trading bot I'm investing in. Like, at some point, you can't just be 100% crypto. You never should be 100% anything. You should be expanding your investment horizons. But anyways, let's talk Altseason. Let's get on it. What's up, yes sir? How's it going? Tariffs are good for America. They already have. Like, I know there are some tariffs, but I don't think they're going to impose the ones. He's saying this to negotiate, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words, and that's that, right? And you can be right. I'm not trying to argue with you. What percentage of your money would you invest in long-term Bitcoin spot, long-term alt spot, and swing trade, just to have an idea of what is sensible and what is stupid? So at this moment, I wouldn't buy any Bitcoin. At this very moment, and I have some answers for you, right? I wouldn't buy any Bitcoin. Why? Look where we are, right? What if this is the top, right? What if the next leg is the top and you don't sell, right? I think at this point, buying Bitcoin spot, unless we have a major correction, like 50 to 60%, isn't worth it, personally. I don't believe that we go over like 150 to 160K this cycle. Just being realistic. As for altcoins, look, a lot of alts dropped a lot last night and they recovered. If they go back down to where they were, might not be a bad idea to scoop some up, especially with the data I'm going to show you about Altseason and are we looking or potentially going to have one. Again, we're going to cover this in a minute. As for like spot purchases overall, I wouldn't buy any Bitcoin. Maybe, like, let's say you have $100. You have $100, I'd say no Bitcoin spot. And for that being, look, Bitcoin's at highs, right? You buy when we're at lows. You could have even bought here and you'd be okay, right? You never buy at highs. That's number one rule. You never buy at highs. Alts just corrected a lot. You could do some alts. I'd say no more than like 15 to 20%. And why? Because look, at the end of the day, alts are garbage. I mean, you just saw what happens when everyone gets scared. We could have a massive liquidation cascade. You could lose all of that money. So I'd say 15 to 20% is safe. Right? And again, it depends how much money you have at the end of the day. Like, if you're trading with like $1 million, I'd put maximum like 100 grand in alts. There's just no reason to have everything in alts. And then swing trade. So I wouldn't put anything into a swing trade at all unless you're an experienced trader. I would take the next several months and paper trade or trade with like $100 and see if you find success with it. That's what I did with this lower time frame trading strategy, and what I'm still doing. I am trying to really perfect it, so I'm trading with a lot less than I would when I get very good at it. And that's, again, like, you look at some of these great traders like Cole, Castillo, the horse guy, and these guys have years with the same trading strategy. They know what to expect. They know what to risk. They have confidence in it. I mean, your worst nightmare as a trader is uncertainty. And if you have years of certainty in a setup, you've got constant gains. Like, you're always going to have up and down weeks, right? Or up and down months. But you don't want to go into a trade being like, I don't even know if this is going to play out because I don't have any experience. Like, you want the experience to know if it's going to play out or not. But I would say like 80%, man. And again, this depends how much money you have. I would keep it in something safe until we have a major drop, right? Like, let's say Bitcoin drops to 60K in the next 2 weeks. I don't think it will, but let's say it does. You could start deploying some money because now you're in that spot where Bitcoin's made a massive correction. I think an alt season will absolutely happen. And that's because of the liquidity cycle in Bitcoin. But look, if you're looking for an investment, and this is probably a good time for me to talk about this before we talk about some alt season data. I know some of you have heard about this. I know some of you don't care. So I've ran a long-term copy trading bot on Bickit for the last 6 months. This is the data that I was presented. This is this year's data, right? All of 2024. These are the returns for the last 4 years, right? In 2024, we had 2 red months. Look, you're going to have some good and some bad. The worst month this has had was a 12.85%, but throughout the year, it made 273%, right? I've had this up on Bickit for 6 months. It's so far given me a 50% return. All of that data is public, available. I posted. It's in Discord. It's everything is there. If you're someone that doesn't know how to trade, right, or you're learning how to trade, or let's say like you want to buy Bitcoin spot, like my man John Dutton here, you're like, hey, I want to buy Bitcoin spot, but I'm telling you this is a terrible time to buy. But hey, you have this money, you want to invest it. Here's a solution for you, right? I have all of these statistics, everything. I will present them to you, whatever you'd like. But I thought I would show you and show you how amazing this thing has been. But I will say this. This is live on copy trading on Bickit. It will be on Blowfin, but for now we can connect you to the API on Blowfin. But unfortunately, and I made this Discord announcement, it is kind of a pain in the ass because I have to do it manually and the team has to do it manually. So we'd like larger traders, like someone with 20 to $1 million, 20,000 to $1 million, whatever, over $20,000. If you're that type of person and you'd like to use this bot, we would have to connect you manually on and you can't use Bickit. We'd have to connect you manually on Blowfin. Now Blowfin will be ready for everybody, and Blowfin works in the United States, it works in Canada, it works everywhere in the world. So if you're one of those people that wants to use this, and you live in the United States, you have over 20,000, DM me, get you in on it. If you're not, then you'll have to wait for Blowfin's copy trading to work. We're trying to get them to update their API so it'll work with ours. And then here's the long term. So there's a short term and then there's a long term. The long term, actually this is the short term. So the short term is a little bit more riskier, in a sense. Returns a lot more. The long term returns less, but it's way less risky. Less drawdown, less. Now it actually has had a worse monthly 1 month, but typically it's a lot safer. Let's go back to charts. Sorry guys, I thought I'd talk about it. I talked about it earlier in Discord today. I brought it up on Twitter. I know a lot of you guys are learning how to trade, and this is an option for you to get involved in while you trade. So that way you're making money and then you don't have to worry about, like, look, my biggest problem when I was a new trader is I didn't know what to invest in. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to make 5% a year on the stock market. I don't want to sit there and collect elderly gains from a dinosaur market. I want to quadruple my money. Well, that's where that bot comes in. While you're learning, you'll be making money while you learn, right? So you can paper trade on TradingView, and you can paper trade on TradingView, see your results, and if you start getting results, then take the money out of the bot and trade it. So easy. Is the trading bot good in a bear market? I mean, when you tested the bot in the last years. So the trading bot has been used for the last 4 years. This is 4 years of data. 21, 22, and 23. So I'd argue 22 and 23 were both bear market years. They were excellent still. 2024 has been a bull market year. It's been excellent. right? Obviously, in a bull market, it probably does a lot better, and that's because trend is up. Trend is a lot easy to guess. Plus, when you're in price discovery, your chance to make more money is readily available. So, yes, it has done well in bear markets. If you would like to see this data, again, DM me on, I'll post it in Discord, but if you need like a full presentation, you need me to talk to you need to talk to the team, if you're a high loader investor or whatever, or you're just someone that wants to know more, just DM me, man, or ping me in Discord. More than happy to show you guys. Right, let's talk Altseason. Everyone's asking. Let's get after it. So in regards to Altseason, have we had an Altseason is the first question. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no for a couple reasons. Let me move this. Why haven't we had an Altseason? Actually, I'll put these right next to each other just because it'll be easier to see. Have we had an Altseason? In my opinion, no. Why? Look what Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin have been doing at the same time. Tandem uptrend. That is a clear sign, depiction, whatever you want to call it, that not only have we been, obviously Bitcoin dominance has been a leading factor in determining if Bitcoin's going to continue its own uptrend, right? But alts have not received any liquidity from Bitcoin. I would argue maybe some here. Maybe. Or maybe liquidity is finally going into alts rather than Bitcoin, possibly because we just had an absolute flush. But if you guys want to know what an alt season looks like, look at 2021. This marks alt season. What I have circled, this is the marker for alt season. We put in a lower low. We trend down for, what is this, 5-6 months? I mean, realistically, up until November of 2022. Where is this? This is June 2022. Where is November? Yeah, November of 2022. You start making bullish divergences here telling you, hey, market's coming to a close. But this is all alt season. This whole kind of year-long period from March to November of 2021. It's about 8 months. 7 months. No, it's 8 months. Yeah, it's 8 months. Then Bitcoin tops and then everything dumps, right? But when did it actually start? Well, you could consider the rejection up here, but you need a confirmation point, right? You need a point that says, hey, we're making lower lows. We're establishing a new trend. We're continuing a confident downtrend. Here's your answer, right? Have we had that yet in 2024? I know there's a lot of people in here that say we're not going to have an alt season for XYZ reason. Guys, for the last 120 years, penny stocks at the top of the, I guess, top before recession go bonkers because that money rotates from the S&P into the small, not all of it, but some of it, and causes them to push upwards. The same thing happens with crypto. You have Bitcoin that pumps first, then Ethereum, right? Then the rest of the alt market, and then you could say like shit coins, meme coins. Unfortunately, for the last several months, we've had Bitcoin into shit. It's been going into shit. I don't even think it's going into shit coins. I think retail has been buying shit coins, right? Retail's been buying shit coins, expecting them to pump, and they're just not because Bitcoin is taking the liquidity from the entire market. Maybe alts rise. What influences an X stop calling for it? So many bad people like Moon Carl and Crypto Rover on there. Yeah, but they always call for bull markets, dude. That's one thing is those people, the entire 2022 bear market into 2023, like this whole period, they were calling for a bull market. They called for a bull market on this little breakout. Like, get out of town. They're like, bull market, 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 and then they're finally right up here. Those are those type of people. You can't trust them. But back to this. Let's go over some data points. So we've already established we have not had an alt season. We have not seen a liquidity shift. And again, going off history here, we're going to get one. We almost always do in every asset class. That's why in times of like, you think inflation, why do you think the stock market think of money markets. So you have bonds, then money market, or maybe the same thing. You can interchange. That money goes to maybe the S&P, maybe into like meme, like not necessarily like meme, but we'll say like penny stocks into dollars. And you could rotate this any way. Why do you think when the S&P fell as much as it did, bonds and money market funds were at all-time highs? There's $7 trillion sitting in money market funds right now. I have money in a money market fund. It's almost at 5%. Why wouldn't you? It's a safe, like if you have a good chunk of money in there, you can make a ton of money from it. You don't even have to do anything. It's like a non-worry. So what I'm saying is, I'm relating this, like think the S&P 500 is Bitcoin, and actually let's say the S&P 500 are alts compared to bonds and money market, which are Bitcoin, right? Let's say the economy is kind of going to shit, right? It's, we just got off a bull run. People are taking profits. What do they take profits into as inflation rises? They go into bonds and money market. When things start to look better, right? And let's say your bonds, money market are topping out, like inflation's topping out, starting to go lower, that money shifts into the S&P because you'll get a better return. If that makes any sense. I know it's kind of a complicated answer, but money is constantly flowing through everything. And if you don't think there are people in this world that see Bitcoin at 100K, or maybe they've been holding Bitcoin since like 15 to 30K, right? Maybe Bitcoin starts to put in massive exhaustion on the weekly. When this goes down and the rest of the market goes down with it, or like what happened yesterday, this was a buying opportunity for so many people. But back to Altseason. I know I keep rambling on. So back to Altseason. I'm going to remove the Bitcoin. We've already established we have not had an Altseason. So here's a kicker. On both the weekly and monthly charts, we have bearish divergences. We have higher highs, lower highs. We also have a massive chunk of volume showcasing, look at this, I'm not kidding here, showcasing what a potential top, right? That could lead us into a lower percentage. Breakdown here, lots of volume on the breakdown. Lots of volume generally indicates tops and bottoms. Generally, it depends on the exchange, because Binance loved to whitewash stuff back in 2022. But anyways, moving forward, we have those. Look at the monthly. The monthly closes like this. Bam, bearish divergences on the monthly. Right? Bitcoin has been in an uptrend for 3 years. Eventually, I'm not saying tomorrow, not saying today, not saying next week. Eventually, this is going to come down. Just like anything, trading anything. You have uptrends, you maybe have a retest, right? And then we continue higher from there because now we have ETFs and everything. What do you think happens if we do this? What do you think honestly happens? That would be Altseason. Now, confirmation points for Altseason. And look, with all of this said, who knows if we ever get an Altseason? I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, we're definitely going to have an Altseason. But considering the fact that this week we've put in a blow-off top, we have bearish divergences, we have all of these implications of trend exhaustion, we've been in an uptrend for 3 years that's hardly corrected. Our confirmation point, first confirmation, and really the least important, would be a breakdown of 57%. The second would be a breakdown of 54%. You do all that, and we're looking pretty good. Right? We're looking like, okay, now we have a solid downtrend. Now we're creating lower lows. Also confirmation, and I went over this in the video today. I don't know if you guys watched it, but if you did, I apologize. I'm going over the same stuff, but I wanted to cover it for everybody. So Ethereum to Bitcoin, we get back over 0.034. That's a good start. But really for me, it's 0.04. And again, you have this implication of at this point, you still have lower highs, especially if we correct. If we get back above, get above these points, now we're creating higher highs. We're creating a nice little uptrend. Now, granted, I would like to see something like this on the way up. We're creating higher highs. We're creating better movement. What I don't want to see is this. I don't want to see us do this back all the way back down. That means, again, Bitcoin's likely going to take more steam from the rest of this market. There's a harmonic figure on USDT daily chart that forecasts a rise up to 5.92%. Bitcoin will likely fall more. So here's my issue. 5.92, you're talking all the way up to here? Oh, why? Because this looks like a double bottom. I don't think so. And look, it really depends what happens when these weekly charts close, but I don't think any of that's going to happen. I'm still like, look, who knows how this weekly is going to close, and we have to wait for that. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a very volatile long week. What I do like, our alts are bouncing significantly, and we got a wash of the space. All emotions aside, this was needed. And I will say a lot of people are waiting for this wick to be filled to buy. And personally, when the masses say one thing, when the masses are like, oh, I'll just wait for that to get filled, it's not going to happen. Right? It could happen. But when everyone's like, oh, I missed buying, well, I'll buy it when we get back down there. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you personally said that when Bitcoin goes up to like 30K? You're like, oh, if it gets back down to 15K, I buy. It never did. You're like, oh, Bitcoin just lost a diagonal trend. When it goes back down to 20K, I'll buy. Never did. Right? Uptrend. Oh, when Bitcoin hits 48K support, I'll buy. Or resistance, I'll buy. And drops down to 20K, I'll buy. Nope, never did. Look, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. This is a bottoming candle on the weekly if we close like this. Again, that's if. It is Monday. We still have 6 more days left. It'll be a long and painful 6 days. For sure. Right, let's talk some other stuff. Let's look at the S&P. So I've had this on my chart forever. I think we continue to range and go higher. Again, Trump's entire well, let's see. Now he's into Bitcoin too. His entire measurement for success is saying the stock market is going to go higher. Right? If the stock market goes higher, he knows he's being successful. Why would Trump want a market crash? You don't think he has some of the best and brightest people telling him, like, hey, if you do that, like we're gonna have a recession. Like he knows that if he does these tariffs, or he especially if we move to a consumption tax immediately, the stock market's gonna go down, and he will be not successful. You can fight me with it on all day, but I'm telling you, I think it's just a negotiation tactic. I don't really believe. I don't believe that we're going to have these massive tariffs on Canada and Mexico. All right, let's keep moving on. I know that, and to be honest, we've seen this before. We have this potential double top. We had a potential double top here. We had another potential double top here. This has been a common theme with the S&P where we continue to range and go higher. I'm sticking to that theme personally. If we do correct, then so be it. You know, would a correction be a bad thing? I don't think so. I mean, look how ridiculously high this market's been going. Since 2023, I mean, really in the last year and a half, you're up 50%. That is an absurd return. Actually, I do want to keep this. We'll leave that there for now. Dollar's heading back down again. With the announcement of tariffs, it went boop. right? And now that the market's like, wait, this is just Trump negotiating. This is just Trump trying to do what he does and negotiate, make business deals, and get what he wants, right? By, in a way, kind of threatening people. It's like, oh shit, dropped. I'm not kidding you, man. The only real threat on this dollar is the fact that we have hidden bullish divergences here. And I'll be real with you, I don't know if they play out right away. I still think that this ranges for a year up in here. Like we create some kind of range and then move higher. And that's based on, look, I still think this bull market has time to run. We also saw the same thing here. If you open up the Bitcoin kind of chart, we saw the dollar continue to rise. And it wasn't really until we went up, I think this is 10%. Yeah, almost 10% that we saw the drop. I still think this has room to rise, personally. But I do have marked like my least bullish, my most bullish. Obviously, re-entering the range would be the most bullish. Trump may need market crash to buy important assets in country with great discount. Didn't he just get that yesterday? I mean, altcoins literally did a minus 50, 60%. And they were bought up, dude. Look how much they bounced. A bounce like this is not... Guys, if we were going to go lower, we would not bounce like this. In my opinion. Now look, later this week, this could come back down and maybe it closes red all the way down to here. Right? Maybe that happens. Just like how this is kind of a blow off top. This is almost like a blow off bottom. In a way. Just like how this is parabolic uptrend. Right? Parabolic uptrend. Kind of a blow off top here. RSI is massively overextended. I don't know. Let's get to Bitcoin. Let's look at the daily. The weekly looks... Actually, I was talking about the weekly first. I won't lie, man. It looked ugly at first, but if this weekly closes like this, I think we're going to break out. I think there's so much strength behind this pump right now. And again, this comes specifically before close. We have to wait for close. If we close like this, it's looking pretty good. We have some very clean bullish divergences on our weekly chart as well. Super clean. Stock RSI is completely reset. RSI is reset. I mean, you be the judge, man. I think this has legs. Look at the daily. I mean, this is the most daily volume. We still got a couple hours, but this is some of the most daily volume we've seen in a while. Especially with that flush. I mean, I know it's had a lot of fuckery. But this looks very strong. Like, this is how bottoming candles are made, right? Like, you look at some of this stuff. Let's actually open up the weekly. Just so we can see if we actually got that. And in COVID, you have a giant wick. But over here, you don't. And that was the original bottom. I don't know. I mean, some of these larger wicks were either the bottom or very, very close to the bottom. But what are my expectations? I'll be honest with you, it completely determines how this weekly chart closes. But at this rate, I wouldn't be shocked if we went to 108, kind of ranged, and broke out. Just with the strength behind this, we've been ranging for weeks. We've talked about this range for weeks. We've talked about how the weekly is needed to reset. We've talked about how we've avoided bearish divergences here with this weekly coming back down. We've talked about how the monthly, right? And I'm talking specifically macro market stuff right now. The monthly has so much room to go. Guys, this has been consistent with every single bull market top since 2013, right? You have 2013, 2020, or excuse me, 2017, 2021. Just saying. Right? Do I think we'll go all the way to 92? Probably not. We'll probably get to like 80, 85. And that's still a point where you say, like, let's say Bitcoin gets to like 150K. Are you really going to not take profits at that point if you bought during this range? And I'll tell you what, right now, when Bitcoin hits 150K, I'm selling. I'll do it live on stream. I will show you guys my spot and sell on stream. Actually, I probably won't. Yeah, I'll sell on stream. I'll just have to move it before stream because I don't want you motherfuckers to hack me. But this monthly looks so good and has so much room. The daily looks fantastic. I'll be honest with you guys. This morning when I went through the private analysis, we were sitting right about here, and I gave a least, middle, and best case scenario. Right? The least case, the worst case scenario is, look, we range here and we die. Right? We go back down to 85, 70. Do I believe that's going to happen? Not necessarily. We're in a pretty clean range. We've been ranging. The tariff stuff is now being regarded as a negotiation tactic. My middle scenario was maybe we range here and continue that range and then eventually break out. The best case scenario is, and I'll be honest, this was I expected the middle scenario to play out. I expected a range and then continue that range and eventually break out. My best case scenario, which, I thought this was the least probable, us breaking down. My best case scenario, however, I thought was next to, I didn't believe it would happen either. But definitely more than this. Recovering the candle and pumping, especially pumping over yesterday's dump, very, very remarkable. I mean, the assets of energy companies. He could, but I don't think, look, with his administration calling for not allowing politicians to trade anymore, like trade stocks, I don't think he's going to do that. Personally. Don't get hacked live on stream. That would be awful for me. That'd be kind of funny for you guys. I'm sure it would show up all over X. I'd be the guy that got hacked on live stream showing people me selling my long-term spot. That'd be crazy. But as for the daily, man, I mean, this daily is unreal. So much strength. We close in an hour and 30 minutes. Unless we just nuke, pull back nuke, look at stock, look at normal RSI. Everything's ready to go higher. We've been ranging for, I think, 45 days. Excuse me, 75 days. Actually, no, that's wrong because we created a high. So we've been ranging for 48 days. I mean, you look at 2020, and we'll do a side by side. You look at 2020, for example, and you look at the first big range. I mean, this was 29 days. And look, I know it's been a little bit longer, but this is normal. I would argue it's normal. Plus, even with all the tariff news, we just bounce a ridiculous amount. My bet, and no matter what happens macro-wise, I think this goes higher. I still believe we hit 138 to 154K. We land somewhere in there, start taking profits here. If we go up a little bit more, we take a lot more profits there. This to me looks like a range similar to when I said, during this whole range, I said it the whole time, even when we were at 48K. This is a range, we're going higher. This is a range, we're going higher. That's what I've been honest. I've said it, it's recorded, right? We're going higher. We still have so much room to go up on the monthly before we even consider exhaustion, in my opinion. Just take a look at some of these alts and then I'll end the stream. I mean, this is absurd. Ethereum's already back almost to 3K. This is crazy. How much did this go up? 35%. It literally round tripped the entire candle. In all my days of trading, I've never seen this happen. And in my opinion, this is a liquidity flush to cleanse the market. Right? Think about it right now. There aren't retail investors in the market right now. There aren't any retail investors right now. Right? Alt season happens and things pump when no one's talking about them. And everyone yesterday, everyone felt some pain. Well, I guess almost everyone. It depends if you were trading, but if you held long-term bags, you felt pain, right? And today it bounced. I hope you weren't holding long-term bags and panic sold them. I mean, look at Tau. Tau's bounced. Tau's bounced 60%, completely round-tripped this candle. You guys have, this thing dropped 33%, 34%. And in one day, right, bounced another 60%. There's something to this, right? It smells a little fishy, right? I don't know, man. I think it's all ready to go. I do. I mean, it, again, depends on the weekly close. But even look at Tau's weekly. Whoops. Like Tau's weekly, completely reset. I mean, this reset here continued lower and was what, here? I mean, stock RSI was almost topped when we started moving. This has, if this continues higher, this has so much room to go. So much room. If it, now granted, it can't come back down because this is going to change. But if this just strictly goes higher from here, I mean, you're looking at a move similar to this and possibly this. We'll see. I don't want to, look, I hope you guys leave with two things from this. Can it black swan with California referendum for independence and then market crash? Why would that happen? I don't think California wants independence from us or from the U.S. That's crazy talk. That's just some, I'll be honest, I think that's just some conspiracy crap. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just me. But I want you guys to take away two things from this. One, I'm not saying to buy alts right now. We just bounced a shit ton. I mean, you look at what's wild is this bounced 60% from lows, and look at your hour RSI still has room to go. That's absurd. I've never seen that before. That's absurd. What I am saying is giving you data points on a potential alt season, trying to calm nerves from the tariffs, right? I do believe it's a negotiation tactic. There are YouTube videos all over it. Right. Trump's done this before. He's doing it again. If he really wanted tariffs, he'd make them happen. Personally. All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. Just one last note. If you're interested in the trading bot, DM me on Discord or on Twitter. I'll get back to you probably later tonight. If you're able to use Bitget, it is live and running on Bitget. It's been running for 6 months. It almost has a 50% return over those 6 months I've been running it. In order to get access, just sign up. I have a referral link for 15% off fees. You can use that. Sign up. Go to Roman Trading on Bitget. Follow it. Whatever. Make sure you adjust the leverage to your liking. Don't go in there because I know sometimes Bitget accounts are set to like 20 times leverage. Make sure you have it set to whatever leverage you prefer. I don't recommend over 5x. If you're really worried about it, maybe 1 to 2x. But with that said, if you want to use Blowfin before it's ready, unfortunately, the team and I have decided that we'd prefer accounts with more cash. So we're saying 20,000 and above. Just DM me. You don't have to tell me the amount, but I'll get you hooked up. You can use it. There are some terms to that because we don't have the system. Like, we have to get the system actually set up, so we have to communicate to you. So just reach out to me. With all that said, guys, when in times when the markets are bad like this, take a deep breath, look at the data, look at what's happened in the past. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, and this is important, especially for days like today. With all that said, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.